If you're looking to curl up on the couch with a cozy bowl of something delicious, then today's recipe is perfect for you. Today we're making my favorite chili recipe. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's delicious. Let's jump in. The first step of chili is going to be browning the meat. Today we're using bison, but you can also use ground beef, ground turkey, or even ground chicken. We're going to add the bison along with just a dash of salt and pepper to your skillet. Flatten everything out and we're going to let that bottom layer brown. I checked it after about 4 minutes of sauteing and you can see that it was just starting to brown but needed a little bit longer. After a couple more minutes, it was looking really good. You're going to flip everything around or just mix it up and we're going to let it finish cooking. When it's done cooking, I just turn the heat off and set it aside. But if you were using ground beef, I would strain it onto a paper towel. While your meat is cooking, go ahead and dice up an onion. I like to leave mine fairly chunky because it really cooks down, and so in the finished product, it has a nice texture. If you're using a large onion like me, you'll probably have extra. I like to use a heaping cup of onions, and I like to save the rest for meal prep that week. Getting about a tablespoon of butter into whatever pot you want to make your chili in. We're going to get it melted and then we're going to add the onion. In our stock pot that we're making our chili, the butter is nice and melted, so go ahead and get that heaping cup of onions in there. Give the onions a stir and we're going to be cooking these on medium to high heat. Add a dash of salt and pepper. Occasionally give your onions a really good stir. We're looking for them to become translucent before we start to add everything else. Onions are looking so good. There's a lot of color on the bottom here. Now it's time for the fun to begin. So we're going to ladle in our cooked meat here. And then I have some fire roasted crushed tomatoes. There's usually a lot of tomato flavor that gets stuck in the can, so take about a cup of water and add it to your can. Swish that water around and then dump it in with everything. We have 2 cans of beans today. We're using pinto beans as the first one, and you can dump in all the beans, including the bean juice. And then we also have kidney beans, but you can use black beans or butter beans or basically any type of bean that you want. Make sure your heat is on high at this point because we're adding in a lot of cold ingredients. Then I have a full cup of veggie stock. Okay, as is, this would taste super bland, so we gotta get some seasoning in here. Full teaspoon of garlic powder, full teaspoon of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of chili powder, full teaspoon of dried oregano, full teaspoon of cumin. To balance all that salty and savory, we gotta add a little bit of sweet. So I have a tablespoon of dark brown sugar, and underneath there, I have a tablespoon of chocolate chips. Similar to a mole, the chocolate is going to add a lot of richness. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so we're gonna let that simmer, and then once it starts to reduce a little bit, we may add some more seasonings, but we kind of want this to melt a little bit and see what we need. Once she's good and bubbling, like a potion in a cauldron like this, you're going to let it reduce a little bit. So you can turn the heat down to medium, and then we're just going to evaporate off some of this extra liquid. Also at this time, I like to take a little bit of a spoonful just to make sure, and it's delicious. At this point though, you could add some extra chili powder, some extra brown sugar, anything that you think would even out the flavor. The awesome thing about chili is it can pretty much take on all spices and still taste great. All right, our chili is simmering. I like mine on the thicker side, so I'm gonna let it go about 10 minutes, and that really gives the flavors a chance to meld together. If you like it a little bit thinner or you just need to eat right away, go ahead and serve it up after everything is combined. Let's talk toppings. I'm just chopping up some green onions to go on top. You can also do fresh cilantro if you prefer. The fun thing about chili is it really goes with a ton of different stuff. You could put it with potatoes. You could put it in a bread bowl. I mean, why not, right? And then you can put it on top of chips, which is what we're gonna do today. You can make homemade cornbread to go with it. It's an awesome meal too because it really is easy and it can sit on your stove all day. If you're trying to get ahead for the week, why not make this for meal prep? I like to just serve up what we eat for dinner that night and then put the rest into containers. The awesome thing about chili is it actually gets better with age, and you can even freeze this. Yes, I said that right, freeze it. Freezer-friendly meals like this are great for midwinter when you don't want to cook, or maybe you're going camping and you need something to pull out. But let me know how you guys like to use your leftover chili. My chili reduced for about 20 minutes, but like I said, you really don't have to reduce it if you don't want to. All right, serve it up. Try not to make as much of a mess as I did. And then go to town on your toppings, maybe a little cheddar cheese. maybe some of those green onions, maybe a little fake sour cream if you have it, or real sour cream. Serve it with a good tortilla chip, and then dive in. And that's my favorite chili recipe. It's easy, it's cheap to get, and it's a great meal prep option. I hope you guys give this one a try, and please let me know if you do in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.